of the cities here putting this event on so we can all come out and show what it means to have some freedom, get these businesses up and going. Definitely the cure to this is going to be worse than the disease. It's going to be far deeper, and I don't even know what it's going to look like when we come out at the end of this. But I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I don't know who's after me, but that's about all I got. Thank you.
Great job. Another round of applause for Mark Roberts. Okay, so we actually have David Levitt in the house. He is a candidate for Utah's Attorney General. And he is also currently serving as the district attorney for Utah County. And so this is a very important position because this person would be Utah's top
Thank you for
cop.
holding the rally there.
And they should be able to hold and understand the difference between legal versus lawful. I would argue that these orders being put into place by Jenny Wilson, by Aaron Mendenhall, they are not lawful. Okay? Nobody gets to tell you that you have to shut down your business. Nobody gets to tell you that you have to stay in your home. All of these orders are unconstitutional. So it's important that we get the right person in this job. So please give a round of applause for David Levitt.
I almost tripped on my way up here. Good afternoon. Thank you for being to this event. What a wonderful thing to celebrate being back in business. You know, what I wonder is why did we ever get out of business? For me, and I look at it from the perspective of Utah County. It doesn't much matter really who orders what, because the question of enforcement falls on the Utah County Attorney, and that's me.
If you've never read this book, The 5,000-Year Leap is an absolute must. You can get it at lovingliberty.net. Right? Lovingliberty.net. The 5,000-Year Leap, miracle that changed the world. I think it's probably backwards, but guys, this is what America needs to look like right now. Every place in America needs to look exactly like this. The Utah Business Revival, our plan is to go to a lot of areas throughout the state and host these free revivals for all these small businesses. We got food trucks. It's a lot safer than standing in line at Costco for toilet paper. I'm telling you right now. Hi guys, thanks for coming. Can you guys see that okay? Can you guys see that okay? If you can come down to Vineyard, come down. Yeah, I'm doing it. No Spanish, no.
Want to say something personal in English? Why you do this one?
I can, yeah. But just okay. Go ahead. What do you want me to say? My name's Eric Mutzos. I'm with the Utah Business Revival. My message is really simple. We need to open up Utah. We can never let this happen again, ever. It's we the people. We have to push the limits. It is not un-American to protest peacefully using our First Amendment God-given right to assemble. And so join our Facebook group, the Utah Business Revival. Go to our webpage, utahbusinessrevival.com. Sorry I don't speak Spanish, but that's just come. Come one, come all. All right. Thanks, man.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
If you ever start a militia, let me know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We don't need to get violent, right? We don't need to have we have a perfect system in place with officials, elected officials. What we need to do is we the people have to get engaged. We have to get engaged to elect virtuous leaders in these positions so that the government doesn't think they have authority to do what they're doing. That's the truth. And so that's the message. And if you look here, this is what America looks like, right here. Thank you guys for coming. We're doing a Facebook Live. What's up? What's up, Dave? I'll come say hi. Can you guys say hi to the Facebook Live? Can you guys say hi?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Let me sign it.
Just where you get a chance. I've been dying.
Can you hold this for
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I saw
Did you
you.
like the read?
I loved it.
What was your favorite part?
I actually the
They're getting my book.
Yeah.
So you can get this for free online. You don't have to buy it on Amazon. But this is my book called Dispatched. It looks like I'm signing it for somebody. But if you don't have the money, go to ericmutzos.com and click menu and just start reading.
It's amazing. Thank you. I went through the same thing with the University of Utah, so we appreciate that. I've been waiting forever and ever. Thank you so much.
Thank
you guys
you.
have a good day.
Here's the shirt. Someone printed these shirts for us. Utah Business Revival. I got my boy here with me. He's eating ice cream. All right, guys. Hey guys, you're on Facebook Live. Say hi. You guys say hi. So all these booths came from all over Utah. Mayor Julie Fulmer allowed this to happen. Hey guys, we're on Facebook Live. If I had hair, I would be getting a haircut. Wait, do you guys do eyebrows?
Yes. We do in our place, in our salon.
Okay, well I need my eyebrows done.
Oh, come
My
on.
wife's always attacking me to get this unibrow off. Say hi, everyone.
It's great to be here, everybody. We rode up this morning with three of my good friends from Iron County. And I'd like to, and just a shout out to Mayor Fulmer for her courage for sponsoring this event. I'm proud of her. Grateful to have gotten to know Eric over the last little bit, and proud of him as well. And great to be here with so many good friends. I rode up here with my good friends. As I mentioned, one of them was Blaine Ney, and I love his quote this year. It's one of my favorites. He said, "I'm not scared of things that aren't scary. What I'm afraid of or scared of is 30 million people out of work and businesses will never reopen." I work in Las Vegas. I've worked there for the last 30 years building cabinets and installing them. One of my favorite Mexican restaurants there, Ricardo's, I read this morning, the owner said he's been in business 40 years. He will not reopen. He said, "I had another 10 years in me, but I can't do it. I can't, with what's happened, I just can't reopen." I think every politician, every bureaucrat that forces businesses to close, that they should give up their government paychecks.
Amen.
And I've called on Spencer Cox and Governor Herbert many times to do that. They need to give up their very checks that are derived from the taxes from the businesses that they shut down.
Amen.
To sit in their ivory towers and dictate what we need to do. For every day this economy is shut down, it's going to take a bigger defibrillator to get it going again. And for every day that happens, we're not going to be able to make one big enough soon. It's almost like, and I don't discount that this COVID virus is very serious and it's to be taken seriously. We need to be careful, but it's about personal responsibility. If somebody doesn't want a restaurant open and they're afraid, they need to stay home. It's that simple. So the governor and Spencer Cox announced that we're going from red to orange. And that requires some very stringent things on our restaurants. And I'm thinking of one in Cedar City. They have a small dining room of 9 tables. And to go ahead and open,
to abide by the requirements they've dictated, they're down to 2 tables because it's a small dining room. They can't make it. They cannot make it. I was one of the commissioners who signed a letter that Washington County put together that we sent to the governor that said we don't want to go from red to orange, we want to go red to yellow. It's time we open things up. We cannot, the numbers have never justified what they've done. No, not in southern Utah, not anywhere in Utah. It just hasn't happened. In 100 years in America, we have never quarantined our healthy people. We need to get back to work. I'm just grateful to be here. It's amazing how intertwined and interconnected our economies are, and how many people, as we've just, at first we heard, well, they're going to close down the restaurants, but then you hear, the garbage man, the newspaper advertising, everybody that's affected, and everything's interconnected. We need to get back to work, be careful, use personal responsibility, but thank you, appreciate being here.
Hey, I want you to give one more shout out to Paul Cousins, because this is something people don't know that he's done, but he gave up his salary because you're not getting paid right now. So can we give him a round of applause? He's actually somebody who means what they say. So I'm going to call Eric up. Okay, perfect. And he's going to do an intro.
Okay, so some of you know that I'm a former Salt Lake City police officer for 7 years. In around 2011, I think it was around that time, our sergeant came to our squad and he asked us, well, I shouldn't say asked, he wanted us to do 5 misdemeanor arrests per day. That day I turned in 3, and that was the beginning of the end. Because I challenged him and I said it's unconstitutional. What if the citizens knew that we had to arrest 5 people per day? And he ordered me to stay after shift an extra hour to arrest 2 more people. I still wouldn't do it. Woo! And I have so many stories more to go, but it really was the beginning to the end of my career. And after I got out of law enforcement, there's a whole nother story that happened that I'm going to tell in a little bit that has to do with our religious freedoms. But I lived up in West Jordan at the time, and I contacted several people, and including one of them was Kim Coleman. Woo! I don't know if you guys know Representative Kim Coleman, but we worked on a bill together to ban police quotas in Utah. I don't know if you guys do this. We love our police officers. So many police officers in the state of Utah, they don't want to be writing tickets. I'm telling you right now, they got into the line of work to serve and protect and to help people. But there's so many departments that are broken. We know the government's broken. But when there's pressure coming down from administrators to hit certain numbers for revenue, that's wrong. Yeah. And that's just one section of it. That's just one section of it in government. And so we worked on a bill. I went and testified in 2018 in front of a committee about the story. Well, there was 15 police chiefs behind me saying, we don't have quotas, but we're against this bill. And the whole time I'm thinking, why are you against a bill if you don't have police quotas, right? Yeah. Well, then what little did they know, then Salt Lake City, they came out and said that I was not telling the truth. On the news, they came out and said, he's not telling the truth. Well, little did they know is that I recorded my sergeant. Yeah! And I played the audio about the quotas. And then they went silent. And then a memo came out 2 weeks later. Guess what the memo said? The memo didn't say no police quotas. The memo said, you shall not record your supervisors. Tell me about that. So anyway, long story short, I want to introduce Kim Coleman. She's one of my really good friends, and she helped work this bill to ban police quotas, and so I wanted to introduce her. And also, really quick, we have free pocket constitutions at this table. Come and get a pocket constitution. This book right here, it's called The 5,000 Year Leap. It's $5 here. This changed my life. You got to read this book. It was written by a man who was a former police chief
in Salt Lake City from 1956 to 1960. His name's Cleon Skousen. So I want to introduce Representative Kim Coleman, and thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, Kim! We cannot thank Eric enough for being a bad A freedom fighter and organizing this. He is tip of the spear on so many things, and you know what? That's just what it takes. We need citizens that'll do the hard work, take the arrows, and good elected officials that'll do the work. Let me just ask you, how many of you are a Salt Lake County escapee today? All right. Okay, it feels so good to be down in Utah County in the business land of the free. And, we have Jenny Wilson running our county. Food trucks. I want to shout out to food trucks. I get so excited to see food trucks at events because a couple years ago, me and Senator Henderson ran a bill for food truck freedom because they were being regulated out of business. So I love to see food trucks. You saw Representative Mark Roberts was here. He and I have worked on, okay, seriously, you could not buy raw cream and butter in the state. You could buy raw milk, and thanks to Mark Roberts, that became allowable, but not the cream. Not the cream. So anyway, I'm here today to celebrate business and small business and all business. Let me ask you, who gets to decide if your business is essential? We do. We do. Okay. Not the business owners, the market. We do. We the people. So somebody out there is saying, who gets to say whether my business is essential? Who gets to tell me that I have to hang a closed for business sign? Nobody. No one. Okay. So many people have asked me in the last couple of weeks, can the government tell me I have to go home? Can the government tell me to close my business? No. Yes, no. They can if you let them. No. If you let them. That's why we're here today, because we're not going to let them. We, the people, we decide what shuts down. We decide if we stay in our homes. We decide these things. So here's what I tell everybody. Remember this. Remember this. Because you've never seen this before. We've never seen this before. But every day that I've worked in the Utah legislature, I ask myself that question. Can the government do this? Should the government do this? And sometimes it's little bitty incremental things that you might not notice. Now we've seen it big. Can the government do this? Here's my charge to you. Don't forget, when this is over, you ask that question every day of your life. Can the government, should the government do these things? Big or little, can the government, should the government do these things? I've been a strong proponent and sponsor of First Amendment protections. We've got police officers now going through church parking lots and recording license plates. We've got a faith registry going on now in some states. Okay, you were afraid that you don't want to have a Second Amendment gun registry. Well, now, so there's some states working on First Amendment faith registries now. Remember this, your First Amendment rights, your right to assemble. Assemble. Safely. There is a disease out there. We're still trying to figure out really a lot about it. But we can still be safe and gathered today. And as I look out among you, most of you are still keeping your distance. And I would love to shake your hand down there, and then I'll sanitize. But come shake my hand. And thank you for being here today. And I want you to know a hotline. If you're an escapee from Salt Lake County, the hotline that you get to call on your neighbor and report your neighbor. Holy cow, let's train our kids to report their parents too while we're at it. Here's the hotline, 1-800-FIRE Jenny Wilson.
I want to say one more round of applause for Representative Kim Coleman. She's amazing. I've worked with Kim since back about 11 years ago when we co-founded the Tea Party together. So those were some really fun times. So Kim's amazing. All right, real quick, just a housekeeping note. We found a key. If this is your key, come see me, and you have to tell me what it goes to, and then I will decide if that makes sense. Okay, no, real quick. If you lost your key, come see us. Thank you. All right, we do have another representative here. His name, Kevin Stratton. Is Kevin close by? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. Kevin is a representative for the Provo-Orem area, and he is best known for protecting children, as well as our lands and other things. So he's going to tell you a little bit more of what he's working on. Big round of applause for Representative Kevin Stratton.
It is so good to see you. I love Utah County. I am a fifth generation. My children are 6th and 7th. We planted trees in this valley now for 7 generations. I don't like to be inside. I don't like to wear a mask, but I'll do it if I need to. I didn't like it when I was in Halloween. I don't like it now. But let me tell you 2 or 3 things. As we've seen this remarkable impact upon us, early on, as we thought and considered how are we going to protect and what do we need to do to ensure that we do the best we can, right there is what's going to be the impact, because we don't want to bleed the patient to death in what we do. We don't want to bleed the economy. The things that I love and stand for, certainly defending freedom, certainly defending liberty, our children, but the economy is the heart and the foundation for us as we move forward. And I have said this and again and again and again. Give me a business that is concerned about taking care of their customers, their employees, and doing the right thing, and we'll have infinitely more success protecting the health and safety of our people than a nanny state telling us the things we need to do. We need to be very, very careful as we look at freedom and liberty, the gifts from our Constitution, and how we deal with moving forward. It's very, very important. Certainly, we need to work together. We need to look at the advice and counsel that's been given, take proper action, but we also need to recognize the power of individuals acting and applying the principles that have given us what we have today. Coming into this, as a state, we are well prepared. We're going to get out of it. But listen to these principles. I love these principles. Listen to them. Industry, thrift, self-reliance, transparency, integrity, accountability, personal responsibility, initiative. These are the foundational principles that allowed us to be in the position that we are today, and these will be the principles that will help us get out of where we are with our economy and get moving. So thanks for being here.
Yeah.
You are the definition of what will help us move forward and stand on a firm foundation. God bless you and God bless America.
Woo!
Okay.
So the question is, we want you to constrain the governor. What are you doing to constrain the governor's office? I will show. Okay, let me just first say, as we look at this nation, there have been some remarkable infringements upon our constitutional rights across the nation. I do appreciate the things our governor's done, and especially what we've done here in Utah County. But I will say, I'll show you my text chain with the governor and his staff in encouraging and representing you and saying, look, you have to realize that across the spectrum, there's a strong voice saying, shut everything down. They need to hear from us. They're working to keep things in a proper balance, and that's what I would say. I'll be glad to show you my texting with the governor, the chief of staff, on these issues as we go forward. So that's what I've been doing, to represent you.
Okay, another round of applause for Kevin Stratton. Okay, next up we have Jordan Tusher. He is actually running for a House seat. If elected, he would be representing the South Jordan, West Jordan, Harriman area. And so what I've come to understand, I don't know a ton about him, I'm just hearing from other people, they're saying, this man is the ultimate problem solver. If there's a problem, he will find a good and right solution. So come on up, Jordan, we'd love to hear from you. Round of applause for Jordan.
I'll try not to trip here. Thank you so much. I just want to send thanks to the organizers here. This is a great event. I mean, look at how many people we have here. And those are people that really, truly love freedom and want to stand up for our rights here. I wasn't planning on speaking here. I don't have anything really inspirational to say, other than I tried some baklava over there, and it is awesome. And I hope everyone goes and buys some. You know, in Salt Lake County, we have some serious issues. We have a lot of government overreach. It's one of the big issues that we've been dealing with.
Thank you so much. I was at Salt Lake too. Are you going to speak again?
Yeah, I'm gonna in about an hour.
How that land is developed. Often they'll find the largest government entity to go to and get agreement from them.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to come back in about an hour.
The process of working with local leaders and
we're going to have a live band, and then we'll be back.
So that's something that I'm definitely focused